110, but he's also, that's what you're talking about.
Yes.
Those on-ramps that are so close. But he's going to start hitting downtown traffic.
I had to scramble to get this going.
Yes, and again, we're still waiting to get word on
We're live, people. We are live. Here in LA, Highland Park. Sorry, we're bootlegging this.
A little too fast for this
do as best as I can to get this in the frame. We're just gonna have to deal with it.
To get some information as to
all right, Black Dodge Charger 110 freeway headed towards downtown LA. Live in LA.
Could be a stolen vehicle. We just
plug
don't
in
know
here
at this
for a
point.
second.
We don't know much
Don't know
about
the want
driver
just yet.
either.
Sorry, I put Chris Christie was on the call. I think it's a little early. Time difference is kind of fucking me up right now. But we are live.
It's hard to see. It just looks like
good timing.
Maybe the driver is the only.
Just got back from dinner. Just walked in the door.
With the windows being somewhat tinted, as you can see, but he is going back and forth across the roadway. Total disregard for anyone around, but at this point, just is kind of going at a higher rate of speed than you would want, but not.
I think that's the best I can get the camera, guys. I don't know how to get it any closer at the moment.
Sorry. Just moving across traffic unsafely, and then to be honest, there will be times you'll see people driving like that just on a regular commute. So,
all right. Instead of making you all nauseous, I'm just gonna pick an angle and stay with
behind
it.
him. That could be the case, but we can't say. We do see the
What's
airship right there. So they. And is that somebody? No. Right now, I don't
Birds
see
all over the air right now. I'm trying to figure out where southbound 110 coming out of. So going past downtown.
They may have pulled back, which sometimes authorities will do if a driver is, driving erratically and dangerously for the road.
Yep. Got a live one here. An actual live one.
Calm the situation. But we're
wish I
not
could
sure
zoom
at
in.
this point. We believe this started at about 11:20, so maybe 20 minutes ago. And again, we believe it started in Arcadia on the westbound 210 freeway at Santa Anita. The CHP, as we mentioned, was in pursuit.
You know what? I have an idea.
And then, did you say he was on the 210? Well, on the.
He was on the westbound 210. That was when he was leaving Arcadia, but then somehow ended up on the streets of Pasadena, and then ended up in South Pass, jumped on the 110, and at this point, you're getting really close to being in downtown traffic. Now, there's the carpool lane that he could or she could get into, but there's a lot of options once he or she gets
I'm just gonna do
the
this.
110. So again, we don't know the
occupants
of the vehicle. We don't know how many people
are
in there, but we do know that this
birds do not stop for anything. Sorry about that, guys. Now, this is the best I can do for the moment.
To see traffic pick up, and it'll be interesting to see what authorities want to do with this person heading southbound on the 110.
That is one expensive Dodge Charger for sure.
Is he on the 5 at this point? No, he's still on the 110.
No, north 10 northbound. Sorry.
On the 110, so he's in the Elysian Park area right now. And as
that is as nice of a Dodge Charger as we've seen it. I put black. I think that's a blue Dodge Charger.
Lunchtime. He will
possible stolen vehicle.
Tunnel, and we'll have to see what happens then. But you see, there's a little bit of traffic on there. He's not driving.
No, Eliana, it's too early. What time is it there in LA?
He's in the 60-mile.
It's a 9-hour difference from where I'm at, so it's got to be near noon.
If we can pull back and see if
just after noon.
Has resumed tailing this vehicle. There's no sign. There's no sign of it.
Just around noon.
Well, there's the helicopter, there's the airship. Now we see a quick.
All right, getting off here. It keeps switching. So this has to be 110 northbound because we just went by Stadium Drive in Elysian Park. Dodger Stadium up here. So we just probably went by. That's definitely an off-ramp northbound. GPS has really been fucking me up lately. Side streets now in this very expensive Dodge Charger. Be a shame if we saw this thing get wrecked. Real shame.
See where this is going to go, because now you can see he's running adjacent
to the bottom right corner. It's 11:39.
Traffic that we were talking about that we thought he might be getting into.
He's trying to avoid that traffic. And we have Bruce Thomas, law enforcement expert, on the phone with us. Bruce.
Trip is good. Come back on Friday as we make a sharp left turn.
What do you make of this?
Wrong side of the road.
That CHP has pulled back.
Yeah, well, good afternoon, Philip and Giovanna. What we have is you have a vehicle which.
Oh, we in Echo Park? We're in like actual Echo Park now. Not the hipster Echo Park, real Echo Park. There's parts of Echo Park where people are like, I live in Echo Park. Like, no, you live in Silver Lake, actually.
And now off the freeway.
Well, and we're watching the way he's passing.
Level 2 hype train
oncoming
achieved.
traffic.
Thank you,
Again,
everyone,
right
that
there,
has been
somebody's not gonna be
subscribing.
expecting that
Can't get to
turn
all
when
of you
they're
because I'm
making
using
a
my
turn.
phone
So
to
now
watch
we're
this, so it's
seeing
tough for me to
this
keep
person,
track of
again,
who's
this is
subscribing. I see Jack
down
Fort and then
near,
all y'all 9 months and
to that
counting.
110 where you're
People,
exiting
we got
the
people
freeway
on the
to
streets
go
watching
to
this
Stadium.
big time intersection coming up here as we approach Figueroa Street, north. This is like north downtown LA. He's probably going southbound Figueroa now. Be my guess if we're up in Chinatown.
We're approaching lunchtime now. And
All
this
roads
driver
lead to
is
Downey. We're getting damn
going
close, aren't
against
we?
traffic,
He gets back on the
freely
110.
turning whenever he wants to turn or she
We're headed
wants
straight to
turn.
Downey, folks.
And Bruce, I think that shot right there showed what you're talking about. This vehicle is so heavy, it's going to continue
This thing's a
going the
tank.
direction that it is. So when he makes these turns,
Grand Avenue.
see he
This is
does
right next to where the guy won the lottery.
not
Oh,
a sporting vehicle.
Okay.
It is a luxury vehicle.
that's a left-hand turn. We're headed down to like Skid Row area here. That is not towards South Park.
That's correct. I mean, Rolls Royces typically, they weigh a lot. They're very smooth on the road. They're made for comfort, not for this type of driving. And we're seeing now also people
I
are
mean,
watching
if
through
the,
social media.
who would be in a police chase with this quality of a stolen Dodge Charger? This is as nice as the Chargers
I've
get.
seen that in the past. That is for sure. And
Oh my goodness.
Oh God!
right
Oh Jesus!
Okay.
there.
Bah!
That,
Okay, so this
that
is
was a very, very
What are you doing? This guy's like
Luckily,
about to get out and
people
fight him.
saw it coming, but he went into that left turn. That wasn't even a left turn lane. So
That might be just
now
complete one way. That's a one way.
down.
That's a one way. That's just like a Figueroa. That's one way. Olive Street.
I thought for a second
These are all
that was
one
a one-way
ways.
street. But see that turn again? Again,
Don't go to
it's
Park.
these
What are we
wide
doing?
turns.
What are
Now
we
he's
doing?
making a U-turn to go back the other direction, and you can get really lost.
there are people crossing the street.
There are people in the crosswalk.
Problem at lunchtime. So CHP has included LAPD in this because clearly now he's
Yeah.
He made
off the
another
freeway.
right turn on a street.
We're always going to lose people downtown. The tall buildings, all the parking
It's a parking
structures.
structure, or isn't that a street that comes out on the other
No,
side?
yes, it is. Wait for the end of the tunnel. Potential Paul Walker challenge in play. Long tunnel here in downtown.
Or he could have gotten out and gotten into that area.
Easy Paul Walker challenge to pull off here. That is a long tunnel with no ground units
Looks
in
like a
pursuit.
loop. And
You can hop out and switch cars in a
But again,
heartbeat.
You've probably driven through
Especially
that.
if we're just in tracking
It's
mode.
an area where it's now that section is that little open space that they've created, but that's a street.
If he was,
And could have
He hasn't come out yet.
avoid
Paul Walker
helicopters.
challenge
Just
might be in
LAPD
play.
Just to the left on the street there, so there is at least a patrol car there.
if he was going to try to ditch the car, that would have been the time, and maybe that's what he's done because
Duh.
we haven't seen him exit.
We've seen so many people get away using Paul Walker challenges this year. Why not try it yourself?
What is the what do you do at this point? You have an officer, and we're not certain if that officer was just there or if that officer was notified because of where the chase was. But what is the protocol now when you've got that vehicle under that open space there?
Well, this person obviously drove in there and probably parked the car and as foot bailed in a very nonchalant type manner to not draw attention to themselves. But if
Man, there is a free $200,000 Dodge Charger sitting in the middle of the road down there in the middle of this tunnel.
that we see on the screen from
If anyone's interested.
is he was there on an unrelated issue. He may have heard the radio traffic or may not. But it seems like this person has ditched that vehicle and may just be one of those few that gets away.
It's a lot more than 18%. That was the average coming into this year, but the amount of chases that we have seen recently, it feels like half have gotten away.
That makes things difficult, just as you were talking about, depending on the nature of the person. I see a patrol car on the other side there. Depending on the nature of the person, if they're able to walk casually into the building, we didn't really get a good look during our chase of what the person looked like. If they just pulled that,
And now we just go about our day.
parking structure, there were no immediate officers right behind as they went into that
Man,
area.
I swear, the number, now they're just,
We don't
this is the problem with tracking mode, people. You rely on the air units, whether that's the news helicopter or the sheriff's department helicopters. You go downtown, there's tall buildings. Because there's tall buildings, it's hard to keep track, even with an experienced pilot and cameraman, of following the car. Then you find one of these very long underground tunnels that connect roads in downtown LA. You ditch the car, you get out, and you just fucking run. Yeah, they may have cameras down there at some point, but by the time they're able to identify, you're gone, man. You're gone.
Maybe nervous something else beyond just a regular.
You could have all the birds in the air. You got cops everywhere downtown. It might be too late.
Over by the Disney Hall there.
He's got those stars flashing.
Well, there's also the possibility, I mean, you did drive in with a Rolls Royce.
Talking to each other like, you got him? Nope. You got him? No idea.
By LAPD is if anyone saw a person getting out of a Rolls Royce. That's something unusual in general. And if you did, what was that person wearing? What did they look like? And
yeah, that's exactly what people are thinking. Someone gets out of a car like, oh, let me take note of what that driver looks like in case I need that information at a later time.
You were just saying they'll have to get there. So all of this works in the favor of the pursuit suspect because the longer it takes them to get a description, get in place, get a canine with a scent.
What? Oh, they're peeling out. What? Where are we going?
Yeah, and Philip, to your point.
Oh, they're driving like with a purpose, though.
It's not a vehicle you see every day. So when people see somebody running from it, people will take note of that and hopefully contact law enforcement when they're contacted.
Or we just, those stars stopped flashing and now they get to go back to doing other stuff.
They may have some information.
That's what happens in GTA.
And there is still, obviously, a level of danger here. And even approaching that vehicle, we don't know what's in that vehicle. Authorities don't know what's in the vehicle or whether this person was armed, correct?
Yeah, that's correct, Jolana. You treat everything at the highest level until you know otherwise. So they're going to treat this person as being armed and dangerous. Not just someone that stole a vehicle from wherever they stole it, a dealership or a repair place, or maybe it's just a dispute of some sort.
Well, at this point, in many cases, the car is considered a weapon, and that could be assault, but we haven't, in that vehicle, with that chase, what we watched, we did not see any kind of damage.
I think it's over.
Any kind of...
when we pan out wide like that, when the camera pans out wide, that's the international sign for I don't have a freaking clue.
The weapon was the vehicle. That wasn't the case in what we saw. At this point, right now, we're surveilling the area with Air 7, just as police are on the ground and in the air trying to... We did see some CHP officers down there as well, so it's not just LAPD, but they're just going to have to try to figure it out. The last we got was that the person had pulled into the parking structure at the Grand Hotel. And Bruce, if they didn't run from the vehicle...
That's a CHP. See it on the back, on the tail? Not even LASD. They got LASD and CHP. They lost the guy.
I mean, you have someone that pulled into there. Obviously, that's got to be the point of the investigation, meaning the containment and the search for the suspect. He pulled in. Did he park somewhere? Did he just leave it, run away? Or, that's where you start.
And realistically, how long or how much time and how many resources will authorities put into this search?
Well, you got to remember, taking, a roll...
Who's that?
Taking any vehicle in a pursuit, they're all misdemeanor.
Every time they zoom in, from the helicopter, everyone just assumes it's him and he's guilty. Guilty, get him!
So, how much effort and time? That's a pretty tough call. Maybe an hour, maybe an hour and a half. But the drain on the resources, not just from CHP...
Yeah, I mean, there's so much crime going on downtown that...
will cause an impact.
And I think one of the difficult...
What are we doing?
One of the many difficult tasks
Send the
that you're
dogs.
going to see with law enforcement is what we're watching. Person on the sideline there, or the sidewalk there with the camera. The person on the roof just simply walking by. You immediately wonder, okay, what is that? Is that
right? That he gets into. There's such a inclination of guilt every time we zoom in on somebody.
That's right. Well, we're going to wrap this up. Bruce Thomas, thanks again for joining us once again for another pursuit. Again, we really do appreciate
All right, people.
You offering your insight from your
That's
years
gonna do
of
it.
service with the authorities.
Good to see everybody.
Again, Bruce.
I'll be back on Friday.
Continue to follow this.
If there's an update with the pursuit, I'll be back down and let you guys know. But timing worked out. I was in my apartment right in between dinner and going out. So, all right, my friends. Until next time, it's been a pleasure. Bye.